Jennifer, who is part of the graphics team, Karen, who did the music and audio, JJ and Lee did the networking, Andrew did the logic, and Robert was also on the graphics team and also did the UI. I was the artist. My name's Dorothy. I'm sorry. And I'll pass it over to Jennifer.
So our game is a Tower Wars game. We have 2 teams, and we'd like to ask for 2 members of the audience to volunteer to play our game. To get connected. We have really nice artwork by Dorothy. She drew all these things. We generate random names for people. It's kind of fun. They're from Halo. And so we have a red team and a blue team. Everyone clicks the ready button. So the map is divided into 2 sides, so each team can build towers only on their side, and creeps will spawn. So the basic idea of the game is that you win by getting 40 creeps past the other team's flag, and the only way to kill the creeps is by building towers, but both creeps and towers cost money, so you have to balance your money between sending creeps in order to win and building towers in order to defend. And when you build creeps, it increases your income, so approximately every 6 months or so, the income timer resets and you get more money in order to build more creeps and or towers. And so if you don't have enough money, you're not able to build towers and creeps, and it'll give you a nice message about that. We have some very nice models made by Dorothy. We have apples, dinosaurs, frogs, dragons, and a prince, which is the ultimate creep. The original concept of the game is, well, it's called Tangled Defense, so it's a fairy tale theme where the princesses have towers that they must defend from the princes who are trying to get them. So we have a few different kinds of towers and creeps. So there's a basic tower which just shoots out and then we also have specialized towers such as speed towers, stun towers, slow towers, poison towers, and splash towers. So each of those towers can do different things, and they all send out projectiles which will attract creeps. So we have a few different kinds of projectiles like stars and hairballs and mushrooms, fun things like that. So there you can see some of the creeps are flying, so they don't follow any paths, but the creeps that travel on the ground use a pathfinding algorithm to figure out the optimal path from where they start to the ending point, and they will avoid the towers. And one of the strategies in the game is to build paths, like mazes, with the towers so that the creeps have to walk through them in order to kill them better. But when you have the flying creeps, then it kind of counteracts that because they can fly right over the towers, or in this case through the towers, because like that. So a little bit about the other aspects of the game. So all the game logic is running on our server, so whenever on the client side when you click to build a tower, it's first going to check with the server to see if you can build a tower there, if you have enough money, if that's a valid location. back with something telling you that you can actually build a tower. Same when you try to spawn creeps, it will check with the server to see if you can spawn them. You can see we have the prince there. He's kind of floating along the covers of it. If you zoom up really close, you can see he has a very interesting face. Yeah. And then we have some nice background music and sound effects. Oh, there you can see his face. We did all the graphics in DirectX 9. Our original intention was to use DirectX 11 since it's new and interesting, but unfortunately new and interesting implementation or things like that, so we switched back to DirectX 9 instead. We have dynamic lighting in the game. You can see like the lighting is coming sort of from the top, supposed to be like sunlight. So once you lose, then you see the score screen, you can see everyone's statistics, and you can restart a new game if you want. Because it's kind of a fast-paced game since it's a tower defense. It doesn't really last that long. So when you start again, it just resets the game. Play again. Buttons, it plays a little clicking sound and different background music as well. So there's not actually any detection of the creeps with each other, but they don't run into the towers as well. The projectiles will track the creeps so that they don't miss. Also, the apples are animated, so they actually bounce up and down. So the basic tower is stars, with two different stars, and then the poison tower shoots poison mushrooms, and it's hairballs because the game's called Tangled, so we had to have some hair in there somewhere. And of the different kinds of creeps, you have apples, which is the basic creep. Some of the creeps are faster. Some of the creeps are things like poison or the prince is the ultimate creep, so we have a lot more health and things. We also have armored creeps, so that it takes longer to kill them. And if you mouse over the different buttons, you can see how much it costs to build that type of tower or build that kind of creep, and it also tells you what the special abilities of the tower or the creep are when you build it. So you start out with relatively little money, and then as you go, you can start building higher level creeps or towers. They can bounce on top of each other. all the creeps in the range of the tower rather than just one. The camera can pan to the forward and back, and also zoom in or out. You can see either more of the map or so depending on what you're doing, if you're building a lot of towers, you might want to go zoom out where you're building them. Lost. So you can again see all the statistics: how many towers you built, how many creeps you killed, the amount of money you had. So that's it. Does anyone have any questions for us? Any questions? Yes. So the game will detect that, and you won't be allowed to build a tower if it's going to wall off. Yes. So your camera starts on the side that you're defending, and your team color flag is at the point where the creeps will come attack you. Yes. If a prince gets the tower, it costs lives.
The prince acts like a normal creep. It's just that he has more life. It's hard to